I got Julie here with me.
What's up, guys?
She flew in last night from Utah, and it's good to have the gang back together. And we just jumped off our Root to Rise group coaching call. Look at my cat being naughty. And it was great. We talked all about sex. Yeah, you. Yeah. Oh, there's no water coming out. If I spray this even towards her, she'll jump off the table. So welcome if you're joining live. We have been getting a lot of questions this week in our community just about sex, intimacy, safety and touch after either betrayal, trauma, abandonment, shame. And so we just had a really sacred, powerful session with our women, and it started with a story that always makes us laugh when we think of this topic and me and Julie talking about this topic. And do you want to share real quick?
Sure. Oh my gosh. So we went to a podcast retreat years ago. And as we were with all the women there that were recording live, we recorded a live podcast. All of them recorded about personal development and,
business.
Yeah, business
money.
stuff. And here we go. We talk about intimacy blocks. And it was hilarious because I'm not a person to not be transparent and vulnerable. It's just me. I just tell it like it is. So I'm just talking about my vagina and all these things on this podcast. And we finish and they
look like deer in
headlights. And I was talking about how I'd broken my hymen, like all of these things that they were just like, and they didn't know how to respond. And Becky and I are like, we talk about like this all the time. Like, I don't understand why this is weird. And so it was actually really funny.
So funny. So it was a different vibe today, just being with our clients. And it was the opposite reaction. They're just nodding their head like, yep, I'm tracking, I get it. So we had specific questions that we just wanted to do a short 10-minute live on. Because we felt led to share this, and whoever needs to hear it, it's going to land in their algorithm, and we pray it blesses you for the weekend, helps you feel less alone. So the first question we got is, how do I reconnect with my husband when part of me pulls away, even though I don't want it to? So you want to go first or me?
You go first this time.
This one makes me think of when I first started marriage coaching, and I just started polling different women of what's the number one challenge in your relationship right now, and I was shocked that woman after woman after woman spoke to this one. It was the reaction to his reach and to his touch, even if it wasn't sexual, even if it was just walking by in the kitchen, slapping her in the butt. She said, I notice I flinch and I tense and I pull away, and then he feels rejected, and then I feel shame, and it's this toilet bowl swirl that we don't know how to get out of. And so I just want to say how collective this is, that probably 90% of the women that come through the program experience this. My husband goes to reach towards me and I pull away even though I don't want to. So the first thing that I would invite you to practice, if this is where you're at, is befriending the shame that comes up. There's probably a natural reaction in your body, whether that's warmth and heat or your throat closing up or your chest tightening, and that self-critical voice of what's wrong with me for pulling away, I must be broken. And I would invite you just to put your hand over your heart, and even if it doesn't make sense to you, practice validating like, my body must remember something and it's pulling away for good reason, not no reason. Not because I'm a monster or my husband's a monster, but it's keeping track of something that maybe even my conscious mind has forgotten. And so the work in this is not going to be healed in a 10-minute live. This is like work we would do together in sessions, but I would start helping you to find safety again in your own body after whatever you've been through that it's remembering, and being able to honor both parts of you, maybe the part that wants to be close and feeling into how much and maybe even what percentage wants to be close and connect with him. Maybe even what parts of my body do feel open to connection. Maybe it's my mouth or maybe it's my hand, but not, my chest or not intercourse or whatever it is, and being able to understand your body first and find safety here before being able to bring it to him. Mm-hmm. The last thing that I'll say just for now is, the question was, how do I reconnect with my husband when part of me pulls away even though I don't want to? relationships are a mirror, for better or for worse, however much we like love that or hate that. But my curiosity with this person who asked this would be, what part of yourself can you reconnect with that you're pulling away from? Like, what part of you are you feeling resistance towards touching, being with, meeting? Because you can only be as intimate with someone else as you're able to be intimate with yourself. So really, when we're talking about sex and intimacy, the work always begins with here. Like, what shame do we need to befriend and integrate? What safety do we need to create in our own system? And how can we, meet ourselves first before bringing that to somebody else?
Yep.
So it's cool to see all the names popping on. I see you, Maya,
It's
Mia. It's
good
good to see everybody.
Yep.
And Jen.
Okay, so the next question was, my partner cheated on me last year, and we just were intimate for the first time since the betrayal. It felt safe and right in my body, but my mind kept jumping to, was that a bad idea? Am I an idiot? What should I do? And I know when I read this question, the first thing that went through my head was, let's focus on the fact that it felt safe and right in my body first. I think that right there is an indicator of something. Our body a lot of times knows what our mind doesn't. And so the fact that your mind immediately jumped to, was that a bad idea? Am I an idiot? What should I do? Anytime we notice those questions, more than likely it's our ego trying to protect us because it's afraid of being hurt again. So I think tune in. What I would invite you to do is tune into that first voice, even though it was subconscious, because that's your body, saying, I do actually feel safe here. And then when you notice those thoughts show up, we even talked about this in our container today, there's a containment hold that you can do when your thoughts are looping. It just like hand over heart, this is place a hand on your forehead and a hand behind. You can't really see me doing this right now. And then pressing a little bit and allowing your body to know, I hear you. I know you're there. I know that, or I'm here with you, and I understand that these thoughts are there for a reason, and just be with them compassionately. They don't have to be in charge. You can actually show them that you're with them and want to be compassionate with them, because it makes sense that they would feel that way, you know? But your body was speaking a message that's really important to listen to.
Yeah, it makes me even think, because in that kind of situation, it can feel like chaos inside, and it can feel like internal conflict, and part of me liked it and part of me didn't, and that's where tension and internal ick can come up. And so what Julie's saying is not trying to fix anything or make one part right, one part wrong. It's literally just making space to hear both parts and hold space for both parts. And it makes me think of, with my kids, anytime they're fighting and there's conflict, every time the thing that works is like, time out, hold on, we're gonna carve out like 5-10 minutes, and I want to hear you first. Ollie, you can't interrupt Anna, and then Ollie, you'll get a turn. Anna, you can't interrupt Ollie. And just being able to hear them share their piece and what they're feeling and what they're needing, not even going into fix-it mode or telling them a solution, but just, I hear you. That makes sense. Yeah, what do you need right now? Nothing? Okay, cool. A hug? Awesome. Let me give you a hug. And then, so we can do the same thing with the parts of us that show up, especially after something that can create such a gnarly impact on the nervous system, like betrayal. So definitely deeper topic, but that was amazing for the short time we have. Okay, the other is, I have curiosity sexually toward women. This is from a woman, and that freaks me out and makes me wonder if I'm meant to be with my partner. What do I do? This one came up on our call today, and it was amazing how much Me Too's we got. Yep. There is one woman who brought this and was like, I don't even know, if I have a question here. It's hard for me to even speak this out loud. As soon as I even say the word gay or lesbian, I get immediate heat in my body, tightness in my chest. So first thing I want to say is how collective this is. And we talked a lot about this one, but if I could summarize it and fill in anything that I miss, it's honestly, with something like this, we can jump to wanting to make meaning or figure out the label and even future trip. What does this mean for my relationship? The invitation would be to have the courage just to, let me just stay right here. be with what is. Notice when I even talk about this, what does happen with my body, and can I be with that, kind of like letting a wave come in and then letting it go out. And if I were to boil down what every human is really looking for, even underneath the correct label or what this means about the outcome of our relationship, it's just the safety and security to know that I can bring all my crazy thoughts or wild dreams or curiosities or fantasies and still have love and connection and belonging. With this, it just can swirl into this energy of fear of, if I bring this to the light, it's going to push this person away or freak that person out or mean something about my relationship. And so if we can just dial back into, at the end of the day, what I'm actually searching for right now is just connection. That I don't have to make meaning of this or even have somebody give me an answer. It's I can bring my truth to safe spaces, even if it's just one person that I trust, and for them to just look at me and not, bat an eye and just nod their head and be like, yeah, that makes sense. You're not weird. You're not crazy. So it was cool to see that happen on the call. All the head nods is my favorite.
Yeah, and it's shame reduction. It allows shame to be dispelled. When we communicate it in the open, when we bring it out of isolation and see other people agree, experience the same thing, it allows us to feel seen in a way that is really, really healing. So it was really cool.
Yeah, and then the last question we got was, my husband just recently betrayed me. I'm disgusted by him even touching me. The questions we have, the computer keeps falling asleep, so that's why you see me and Julie going like that. So I am disgusted by him even touching me right now, let alone sex. What do I do? Yeah,
I mean, honestly, it's similar to what Becky communicated earlier. It's, first of all, learning how to be close with yourself. It's learning how to develop that intimacy with you. If you can get that relationship online, then other relationships energetically will feel drawn to you. There's something really, really powerful about that. And I know that sounds easier said than done. And what I will say about the work that we do is it's simple, but it isn't easy. It's consistency in the things that we find work for us, but that is what we do, is empower you to figure out what that is, what works for you, because it could be different for you than it is for me. So what I would say to this is titrate touch to yourself. When I say titrate, begin to start exploring what it feels like to place your hand over your heart. Or to even today, one of the things we did was just, what does it feel like to rub my arm, my own arm? What does that feel like? Is that enjoyable? Begin developing that relationship with yourself. And as you do so, you'll become more and more safe within yourself in order to allow yourself to be safe with another. I hope that makes
amazing.
Sense.
Yeah. So if this is resonating and you have a question, you can either drop it in the comments or DM me personally. Would be happy to answer anything we didn't have time to cover, because again, this is something we could talk about for hours and days, and intimacy and sex is so layered. What I'll end with is what we said on the call today, where it's on one end of the spectrum, intimacy can be the most euphoric, beautiful part of human existence. And on the other end of the spectrum, it can be the most tainted, muddied, layered, confusing, tricky experience that we have, just depending on what we've been through in this area. So my invitation would be to approach this lightly, titrate, like Julie said, which just means gently. Sips and bites and tastes at a speed that feels aligned with your own pace. And this is exactly the kind of work that we guide women through. For those who don't know, Julie's the client support coach and the Root to Rise journey, a 90-day journey to healing from the bottom up and being able to embody the identity of a woman who is total authenticity. Insides match her outsides. She's aligned in her relationship because she's aligned with her own intuition. So if that's a journey you're interested in, you can DM me for more details. But I hope this supported. It was so fun to see how many people jumped on live. And we love you guys. Have a great weekend.
Bye, y'all.
Bye. How do we end?
Right here.
Thanks.